Good evening, folks. Thank you for joining us today. So, this is regarding the Innovation and Compiler Technology Workshop. As you might know, we're organizing it. So, a little bit of background, right? So, I'm Ashutosh, and today I'm here with Pradeep, Prerna, and Aditya. We're all a part of the organizing team of this conference. If you're new to LLVM Social Bangalore, so LLVM Bangalore is a compiler meetup that was started by Aditya and Rishabh in like 2019, and it's one of the largest compiler meetups in the world with over 2,000 members. So we've organized a lot of meetups in the past. So usually every couple of months or every month we organize an online or offline meetup with professors, industry experts, or PhD students, or even enthusiasts such as yourself, right, on various topics. So this year at the beginning we hosted Professor Sriram Krishnamurthy. Then we had a talk on Build It by Ajay, and then we spoke. Professor Ketkar spoke about the hot path SSA form. So we had a lot of talk like such meetups. We've been doing them for about 5 years now. So over this time, we've built up a community, a group. Like it's a community that mainly operates out of WhatsApp, but it's a group of all many major compiler engineers from most of the major semiconductor companies, startups, quite a few professors from IITs and IIC, and we've been having talks about having a conference in India. Like so, in Europe and in US, you have the Euro LLVM US Developer Meeting. You have also conferences like FOSDEM, right? So all of these are major conferences, and there is also PLDI, POPL, the CGO. So all of these conferences focus on compilers. So I mean, or have at least compilers as one of the topics for the conference. So we decided to do something like that in India. So we began discussions among ourselves, and we came up with the compiler technology workshop. So uh, this will be held on the 28th and 29th of September at Dayanand Sagar College of Engineering, Bangalore. This is in Banshankari, if you're not aware of it. But yeah, so we're open to proposals, and obviously you can register to attend the conference itself if you like. But the main thing that this talk or this discussion is concerning the proposals. We're looking for people to submit to our conference, right? So our call for proposals is open. It's on EasyChair. So uh, for those of you who have not used EasyChair, it's a site where you can submit papers. So I have not created an account on EasyChair yet. So I guess Pradeep can show you how EasyChair works once we get to that part of the discussion. But yeah, so what are we looking for is we're looking for an extended abstract, or basically the minimum requirement is an extended abstract and an outline of the presentation that you give. So this is a workshop in the sense of a conference workshop, like not in sense of a workshop where there are tutorials on how to do something, or although even those kind of talks will be there, but it's a workshop in the sense that conferences are workshops where people can submit talks for, it can be as little as a 10 to 15-minute talk, and it can be something as long as a 1 hour talk. The duration is up to you, and it's also obviously dependent on how many good proposals we receive. So at this conference, we don't expect you to submit a paper, a full-blown paper for peer review. Although if you want to, sort of test drive some idea before developing it into a paper in the future, you're free to do that as well. But we don't expect full-length papers. We expect an extended abstract. So if your typical abstract is somewhere between 250 to 500 words, you can go up to 1,000 words here to express your idea fully. And and if your presentation is accepted, it has to be presented in person. So keep in mind that you will have to travel to Bangalore if the proposal is accepted. And we are accepting proposals till September 1st as of now. So September 1st is the deadline. Please reach out to us if you have any trouble reaching this deadline, or if you have some queries regarding the deadline. So you can
Yes,
submit.
sorry
Yeah,
to
yeah,
interrupt. So there's a question. Would non-LLVM based compilers, example OCaml, runtime stack layout, and
yeah.
VOBs, anything to be a relevant proposal?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's a good question. So as you can see, the name of the conference is only compiler technology. It has nothing to do with LLVM in specific. It can be based on any compiler or any language, or anything related to compilation. So it is completely open to, and obviously we welcome non-LLVM proposals. It doesn't have to be from LLVM. So even in LLVM Bangalore, the group started out as LLVM Bangalore, but we do have a lot of talks on things other than LLVM as well. So yes, please feel free to submit a proposal. We look
there's
forward
another
to it.
question as well. Can
Yeah,
we submit reviews on compiler slash LLVM? Is it acceptable?
can we submit?
Next, reviews on compiler slash LLVM, is it acceptable? Ashwini, I'm not
Can
able to understand what your question means.
can you
Can you
please
please elaborate?
clarify? Yeah,
Yeah.
you can unmute and elaborate. You don't have to type it out.
Oh, hi. Hi, thanks for organizing this.
Yeah.
My question was that can we submit something like the literature review or something over
Uh,
compilers?
So, I mean, it has to be considered as research worthy work. So, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, as long as you can glean some useful information out of that, like, comparing the performance of LLVM with other compilers across some standardized thing or something like that, right? As long as it has some utility, yeah, you can submit that sort of thing. But it has to have utility. That's the baseline.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. So yeah,
And there's another question. Yes. Is
yeah.
there any travel funding for speakers if they get selected?
So right now we have planned travel funding for students who need travel assistance. So you can see at the bottom of the website, for students we have, for undergraduate and graduate students who need financial support, we have planned travel assistance. For speakers, we haven't planned it yet. It's subject to the budget, but we'll let you know if that becomes possible. As of now, the plan is no, but yeah, if we get, like, some really good sponsorships, and that it gives us that margin, then we'll definitely consider it. But right now, we've planned it for students, but we have not planned it for the speakers. So okay, Pradeep, any more questions, or I can move
Yeah.
forward?
How
Yeah.
much would be entry fee for attendees? Can you
Yeah,
just go to
so
that section?
yeah, that section is register now, right? So yeah, so the entry fee, we've kept it at 700 for students and 1000 for working professionals. This is the total fee for both days of the conference, and it does include things like your food and snacks. So yeah, that's the fee. And for students, it's 700. But if you're traveling from another state, and you need travel assistance to reimburse the cost of your tickets up to some reasonable limit, we will definitely provide you with travel assistance. So yeah, that's the fee right now. Yeah. Anything else, Pradeep?
Yeah, I
So
think there are more questions. So it's better you
yeah,
can show the question section. So does the
yeah.
presentation need to be on something novel one is working on, or can we talk? Can the talk be on developments going on in some domain regarding compilers, say quantum compilers? Yeah, that'll
So
be interesting as well, right?
yeah, so I think, like, typically people submit their own work to this kind of event, like, things that they are working on. But if you want to, like, sort of summarize the developments in the field and talk about it, or make an interesting talk about something else, like one of my favorite talks is from the creator of the D language, where he said speed is found in the minds of people. So it was a summation. It was a summary of how you can optimize, C++ code in a certain way to get faster results. So if you have something novel about quantum compilers that you'd like to say, even if it's not like you that's developed those things, yeah, sure, please make us a submission. If you have a doubt, like, just make us a submission. It's far better to give it a shot than not. So yeah, we're definitely open to that sort of thing. So,
Shreyas has his hand up. Shreyas, can you unmute and ask your question, please?
yeah.
This is a logistical question mostly. I think Aditya, I tried contacting him through mail, but I think he might not be receiving it. So, is WhatsApp all right to ask questions?
I mean, you can ask us questions right now, and I'm sorry that you didn't get the response to your mail. I didn't
Yeah.
get your mail in the CC. Otherwise, I would have replied. I guess Aditya might have just gotten busy. So, yeah, please ask your
Okay.
question. Yeah.
No problem. The questions were mostly logistical and they have been answered by now. And also, I think my employer would like to sponsor this. So
Okay.
he also tried reaching out through mail, but he
Yeah.
didn't get any response. So I think,
Yeah. Yeah. So I think what Vicharak or something, right? What is
Vichara.
Vicharak. So I intended to reply to that. I did have a discussion with him. The thing is, we have to finalize some details from our side, right? So we're
Okay.
still in the process of doing that. I'm sorry for those delays, but yeah, we have to work out the details for how a sponsorship would work. So I'll
Okay.
reach out to him. I'll reach out to him. So thanks for that.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I just wanted to know that.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else?
No. Yeah,
Okay.
we can
So
move on.
yeah. Let's move on. So yeah, we'll be looking for there are slots for keynote speakers. So keynote speakers will be mostly invited talks. So and there'll be technical presentations, which is 20 minutes plus questions. You can give tutorials, or you can choose to give a poster presentation. So just below the venue is a pretty big auditorium. Just below that, there's a giant gallery sort of room where we'll have posters on display. So you can choose to submit a poster presentation as well. You can select both poster and paper if you want. That's up to you. And so, what sort of people should attend? One is active developers of compilers. So, whether you work on LLVM or GCC or any other sort of compiler or anything that uses compilers, really. So, as we discuss the topics, this will become more clear to you. Students and researchers in the field of compilers, so undergrads and masters and PhD students, and those interested in using compiler and toolchain technology in novel and interesting ways. So a lot of tools such as linters, code formatters, and now even LLMs are writing code. So compiler technology finds uses in a lot of places. There's a lot of DSLs built on top of compiler tech. So yeah, we encourage those sort of people as well, even if you're just curious about compilers in general, right? So just show up. It'll be fun. So yeah, so the topics of interest. This is not an exhaustive list. This is just to give you some sort of idea about what sorts of things, in general, in the ballpark of what sorts of things that we are looking for. Obviously, if you have something that is not in this list, like just now somebody mentioned compilers for quantum computing, you can submit that as well. But this is a general list. So compiler optimizations, domain-specific compilers, compiler frameworks and tools, JIT compilers, programming language design and implementation. So even if it's more PL stuff than compilers, that also is fine. Hardware software co-design, compiler verification and correctness, and compiler education and outreach. So these are like some of the topics of interest. We're not limited to these topics. We'd like to emphasize that. So for the purpose of organization, the conference is split into 4 tracks, and these tracks are in serial order. They're one after the other. So you don't have to worry about missing out, or missing out on parallel tracks, or even if you have 2 papers to submit to different tracks, you can definitely do that and present both of them, because the tracks are one after the other and not together. So in what order the tracks will be presented and how long each track will take, that obviously depends on the number of submissions that we receive. It's dependent on the number of submissions. If we receive a lot of submissions for classical compiler techniques, it will take up more time on day one than the other topics. Similarly, if there's more stuff related to AIML and DSLs for compilers, then that will take up more time. So all of these tracks are for compilers. So I just want to clarify that. So what we mean by AIML and DSLs is exploring the intersection of AIML with compiler technologies. So this includes compilers for AIML frameworks, and it also includes stuff like using AIML techniques to in compilers, such as the MLGo paper, where they used compiler techniques to get they used a machine learning algorithm to get a code size reduction, and AI frameworks such as TensorFlow, PyTorch. So if there's anything in the compilers of those frameworks, you can talk about that. And even now with Mojo, Modular, and all these companies, they're doing some really interesting work in the intersection of AIML with compilers. In India, there's Polymage as well. There's Compiler AI. So there's a lot of interesting work in this field. Then there's compilers with security. Even now, LLVM also has a security working group, and the implications of what is known as defensive programming, as in being able to prevent certain types of memory leaks, prevent certain types of bugs, or certain types of hacks that can creep in. There are ways to improve the security of workloads using static and dynamic analysis techniques and validating compiler transformations. So we're inviting talks on security as well. And the final track is Web3 and blockchain. So Web3 and blockchain has its own unique set of intersection with compiler technologies. There's things like Solidity, where they're building on top of existing languages, right, for compilers. So programming language advancements to address Web3 challenges, verification of smart contracts using abstract interpretation, symbolic evaluation techniques, so that sort of stuff. So you can go through the website, the compilertech.org website, and if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Yeah,
there are a few questions in the chat, Ashutosh. So Akshay asks, will the session be available after the event for public viewing? If you're referring to the talks, then yeah, we are planning to record it and post it online on YouTube.
Yeah, so definitely we plan on recording and posting the talks online. That is something that we'll do for future purposes. However, if you can, please do attend. Is there a different link for just attending, or is it through the same platform? So as you can see on the website, we have 2 buttons. There's a call for proposals and there's a register now. So the call for proposals is to submit a paper or a talk to the conference, whereas the register now button is just to register to attend the conference. So I hope that clears it up.
Hello, Ashutosh. Speaker would also have to register for the conference?
No, I mean, if the talk is accepted, then the speaker does not have to register for the conference.
Okay.
Yeah. If the talk is accepted, they can just come and present. As EDA tool uses compiler methodologies, is it fine if I explain a few hardware internals and algorithms, how compiler techniques are used in EDA? Yes, definitely. So this is a very good point. Even in LLVM, LLVM has CIRCT, I think it's pronounced circuit IR. So LLVM CIRCT is, let me just bring that up. So it's an experimental project that looks to apply MLIR, CircuitIR compilers to EDA tools. So this is one way example where EDA tools are heavily leveraging compiler technologies. So yes, we'd be very interested in this sort of talk. So please make a submission. Okay, wanted to check one thing. It seems like it's only an in-person event. Actually, I'm currently located in Japan. If I submit my talk and get selected, can somebody else, based on in India, present the same on your behalf? Sure. I mean, you could make a submission as a team, right? Like you could put both of your names on whatever you're submitting. As long as somebody is there to present it in India, that would be fine. We're fine with that. But yeah, you would be sharing the credit for that work with whoever it is. So just keep that in mind.
Hey, I
Yeah. Yeah. Hi.
yeah. So the paper that is optionally that I can upload, does it have to be published somewhere, or could it just be
No.
a write-up in the form of a paper?
No, it doesn't have to be published, and we're emphasizing this again and again that you don't have to submit a full paper. It doesn't have to be in the process of peer review or even having to be in peer review. It should just be something unique and novel. So, like, let's say you're writing a paper, and anyway, you've been working on something for the last few months, and maybe you want to validate your idea sort of before giving it to a journal. So you can write an abstract of sorts and submit it here. You can or maybe there's some work that you've done in your company that's not really suitable for a research paper, but yeah, it's still something cool that's worth sharing about, right? So even if you see the Euro LLVM or US developer meeting conference, there are a lot of talks which are more engineering talks than research talks, right? They're about overcoming certain engineering challenges. They're about solving certain problems. They're about finding certain optimizations, speed ups, or doing some things in a better and more efficient way. So we're aiming to bridge that gap between pure research topics versus purely engineering oriented topics. So yeah, it doesn't have to be a full paper. You can just make a write up of your own and submit it.
Yeah. So additionally, can I submit both, like the write-up as something supporting the slides?
Yeah, you can do that. You can submit additional material if you like. The abstract is the main thing that the reviewers will read first, because they have to go through all the submissions, right? So we cannot guarantee that everything you submit will be evaluated, but at least the main write-up will be evaluated first. And if after that we want some more clarifications or we want to look into your additional material, we will definitely do that.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, a few more details. So organization-wise, we believe that this workshop will become a venue that brings together compiler engineers, students, and professors. We have a strong organizing team. So we have Aditya and Vinayaka from Google. I'm from AMD. Pradeep and Prerna are from NVIDIA, and we've been organizing events for years now. So we definitely have organizational experience in trying to pull off something like this. However, we need your support, because any conference or any event is only as good as its submissions. Even if we have the best facilities and the smoothest experience in the world, it won't be worthwhile for participants if there aren't good submissions. So this is not a one-off event. This is just the first iteration in something that we plan on organizing yearly. And we want to grow this into something as big as Euro LLVM or PLDI or Popul eventually. So this is the first iteration. So on our program committee chair is Professor Uday Khedkar from IIT Bombay. And with him on the program committee, we have Dr. Divyendu Das from Intel, Professor Govind Rajan from IIC Bangalore, Professor Karthik, Professor Krishna from IIT Madras, Professor K.V. Raghavan from IIC Bangalore, Professor Manas Thakur from IIT Bombay, Professor Ramakrishna from IIT Hyderabad, uh, 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 Ramana Radhakrishnan from NVIDIA, and Dr. Saurabh Joshi from Supra Research, and Professor Subodh Sharma from IIT Delhi. So all of these distinguished individuals, they're experts at one or the other of these areas. So be rest assured, you'll get a very, we'll maintain the quality of our reviews. So again, this information is a little outdated. 250 words is obviously really less. Do make a submission of up to 1,000 words. You can make it up to 1,000 words. It can be 500 words, 600 words, how much ever you need, but do not cross 1,000 words. But take up the space that you need to explain your idea completely. You can indicate the preferred presentation format, either oral or poster presentation, and all. By 14th September, we will give you the notification whether your talk has been accepted or not, and the conference will be 2 weeks from then. So this is an outline of that. Now I'll go over to Pradeep. I think Pradeep can show you across easy chair. Pradeep, can you please do that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Pradeep, share your screen.
I hope you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it now. Yeah.
Right. So if you want to submit a proposal or an abstract, the way through is that if you go to the website and you click call for proposals, it will direct you to the easy chair page. And if you're logged in, and which is a fairly easy way to do it. So if you don't have an easy chair account, just create one here, go to easy chair, and then log in or create account. It says already logged in, but it's a fairly straightforward process to create an account. You get a code that's sent to your Gmail account for verification, but and that's it. So you just create an account, and then it'll log you into the conference page, and then just click on make a submission. And if you see, you just have to enter the author details, and if you have all the details in the easy chat page, you can just click add, and then it will populate the things for you automatically. And the main thing is the title and abstract. Just put it in text, and specifically mentions that no HTML elements. Just type in your title under the abstract, and then some keywords related to your work, and the file and the PDF file version of your abstract. And then click submit. So it's a fairly straightforward process, and nothing complicated. Just mention your authors properly. I think Saurav has asked whether he can submit on someone can submit on his behalf, so you can just mention multiple authors here. I think other than that, it's fairly straightforward. Nothing's complicated. Just create an account and then make a submission if you already have a PDF version of your account. Your work. Ashutosh, do we want to mention anything else I'm missing?
No. So I guess you guys already know the typical what abstract looks like. So it's like how the abstract of any research paper looks like. The first paragraph at the top, except that you can make it longer. Pradeep, do you have any sample abstracts? No, right?
No, I think I was able to find one online, but yeah, I think it's a more of an extended abstract here. For example,
yeah.
There's more of a paper version of the. This is an extended abstract that I found online, but I think this is more of a very formal format.
Yeah, so you don't have to be super formal, but you have to just accurately explain your idea. And the PDF can contain stuff like markups or diagrams and all, but the main abstract itself, right, that you type into EasyChair, that is just plain text. So make sure that whatever abstract you're making is not inherently dependent on diagrams to be understood, because the abstract is the first thing that the professors and the panel will be reading. they'll go through any additional documents after that. So if you have say slides, or if you have a full paper, you can just concatenate all that into one PDF and submit it in the PDF section at the bottom. But your title and abstract have to be copy pasted into that window over there. So just keep that in mind. So that's all from our side, and we're expecting all of you to please submit, and your work, anything interesting that you've been working on, or anything interesting that you'd like to share. Please keep in mind the duration is open to, we're flexible about the duration. You don't have to have enough content to fill in half an hour, or you don't have to speak for 1 hour. We are okay with 10-minute, 15-minute, 20-minute, or 30-minute, 45-minute talks as well. You can indicate that to us, and we'll accommodate it accordingly. So that's all from our side.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them before wrapping this up.
Yeah, if you also know anyone who's interested in presenting, just let them know that we're
Yeah.
accepting submissions now.
Yeah, I think they should have our poster and website, right? So you have the
Yeah.
website. You can share the website link with them. Yeah. So yeah, if you know anyone who'd be interested in submitting, please direct them to our website and encourage them to make a submission. Thank you.